Hello, it's Matt from Wonders of London. We can't meet on the streets of London, but we can still tell you about places and people who lived here. Some well known, some completely new. Let's call it Wonderful Londoners. Episode 1. There are many locations where we could talk about our first Londoner. So imagine you are walking around Greenwich Park and then later take a boat to the Tower of London, you are in Westminster Abbey, or walking along the Whitehall. In each of these places in the past, you could have met Queen Elizabeth I. First of all, if you ever have a chance to go to Greenwich, definitely go. For many reasons: Greenwich Market, Cutty Sark Ship, Royal Observatory, Prime Meridian, and big beautiful park. In the park close to the river gate, on the paved path, you will see the stone commemorating the birthplace of Henry VIII, Mary I, and Elizabeth I. Elizabeth was born as a royal princess, but soon after, when her mother, Anne Boleyn, has been executed, she was declared a bastard and her life changed. She and her sister Mary, half-sister Mary, were moved to different palaces around the country. Eventually, she reconciled with her father, Henry VIII, thanks to his sixth and final wife, Catherine Parr. Catherine Parr was a remarkable woman in her own right, because she was the first woman to have a book published in English. She wrote 3 books on religious subjects. When Elizabeth was 15 years old, she translated one of the books to Latin, French, and Italian as a gift to her father. Henry VIII may not have been the best husband, but he was very aware of the value of education, and he provided good education for his children, equally boy and girls. When you are still in Greenwich, you may take a moment to think about luxurious but also hard life of Elizabeth. The best to do it after you find Elizabeth Oak. Go across the road to the main part of the park and find Elizabeth Oak. It's a fallen tree now, but when Elizabeth was a young girl, this tree was already 400 years old. And she was known for coming to hide and rest in his shadow, maybe climb the tree or hide in its hollow trunk. So that's for Greenwich, and now we can leave the beautiful area and take a boat to London. We can do it just as the royals did. They mostly traveled by the river as well. And as you go along the river west, on the left hand side, you will see stairs. They look very ordinary, but this is where Queen met Francis Drake and made him Sir Francis after he completed his journey. What kind of journey it was and what kind of man Francis was, we will talk about later. So now, as your boat goes under a Tower Bridge, remember the bridge was not there in Elizabeth times, but the Tower of London was already there. It used to be a royal palace, but in Elizabeth's time it was a prison. And she was there as well, because before Elizabeth became the first Protestant queen, England was ruled by her sister Mary I, who was Roman Catholic. At some point there was a rumor that Elizabeth was involved in plotting against Mary. Some people wanted her to be executed, but Mary only agreed to imprison her sister in the Tower for a year. Eventually they reconciled, and even just before Mary died, she acknowledged and recognized Elizabeth as her successor despite religious differences. So this is the introduction to Elizabeth I, and in the next episode we will talk more about her as the Queen. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this or future episodes, please let us know in comments or direct messages. Thank you very much. Bye.